Greetings to everyone. We will be tackling about legal separation, the title 2. I'll be tackling the article 55 to 58. First, we will going to know the difference between annulment of marriage and legal separation. The annulment of marriage in article 35 to 38 of Family Code is very different from legal separation in Article 55 of Family Code, lalo na sa mga epekto ng mga desisyon ng korte. Ang epekto ng desisyon ng korte sa annulment of marriage ay pinuputol ang marriage relation ng mag-asawa at pinapawalan ito ng bisa. Ngunit sa desisyon ng legal separation, hindi nawawala ang bisa ng kasal. Ngunit ang mag-asawa will only be separated by bed and board. In Tagalog, hiwalay sa kama at sa bahay. Ngunit considered kasal pa rin sila. In short, one will remain as married to his or her position as spouse in legal separation without any right to remarry, whereas in the annulment of marriage, the marriage ties will be cut off and both spouses are allowed by law to remarry or magpakasal muli. Ang epekto ng desisyon ng annulment of marriage sa mga status ng mga anak ay sila ay magiging illegitimate children to accept kung ang ground na ginagamit ay Article 36, physiological incapacity at Article 53, reappearance ng absent spouse. Sa desisyon ng legal separation, ang mga anak nila ay mananatiling legitimate child at hindi ito mababago. Lastly, epekto ng desisyon ng annulment of marriage ay nagbibigay karapatan sa babaeng asawa na gamitin muli ang kanyang maiden name or the surname, whereas sa desisyon ng legal separation, hindi pinapayagan ng batas ang babaeng asawa na gamitin ang kanyang maiden or surname at siya ay mananatiling gagamit ng kanyang husband na surname. Sa mga grounds na pwedeng gamitin sa annulment of marriage ayon sa Article 35 to 38 of Family Code, ang usual grounds dito ay ang mga depekto sa mga legal capacity to consent ng mga kinasal at solemnizing officer, mga depekto sa marriage ceremony at marriage license at iba pa. In short, ang mga ground na ito ay mga depekto bago o habang kinakasal ang mag-asawa. Whereas the ground illegal separation is in Article 55 ng Family Code like repeated may be filled on any of the following: physical violence, religious or political affiliation, corrupt or induced, final judgment, addiction and alcoholism, lesbianism or homosexuality, bigamous marriage, sexual infidelity, life or abandonment. Ang proseso ng legal separation at annulment of marriage sa korte ay halos magkapareho. Ngunit ang legal separation has a requirement that shall be filled within 5 years from the time of occurrence of the cause. That is in Article 57. Ang petition na sinampa sa korte ay hindi uusad o gagalaw for a period of 6 months. Pagka-file ito upang bigyan ng pagkakataon ang mag-asawa na mag-usap at mag-reconcile. That is in the Article 58. Ang ganitong cooling off period ay walang proseso ng annulment of marriage dahil ang proseso nito ay tuloy-tuloy hanggang matapos ng korte. Essentially, legal separation affects both person and property. while separation of property affects property relations only. Legal separation can be decreed based on the agreement of parties, while separation of properties may be effected by agreement of the parties subject to judicial approval.
And I'm going to present the legal separation under the Article 59 until Article 62. Article 59. No legal separation may be decreed unless the court has taken steps toward the reconciliation of the spouses and is fully satisfied. Despite such efforts, the reconciliation is highly improbable. Meaning, the Article 59, it states that only the court could finalize the declaration of legal separation unless the court as the authorized body lean towards the restoration, then both spouses, as long as they are contented, could continue reconciliation apart from the authorized body. Now, the Article 60. No decree of legal separation shall be based upon a stipulation of facts or a confession of judgment. In any case, the court shall order the prosecuting attorney or fiscal assigned to it take steps to prevent collusion between the parties and to take care that the evidence is not fabricated or suppressed. The Article 60, it states that the only factual stipulation or a confession of judgment shall be based on a legal separation. In any circumstances, the court shall direct the prosecuting attorney or fiscal appointed to take care action to avoid the interference between the parties and to ensure the evidence is not manipulated or withheld. So, the Article 61. After the filing of the petition for legal separation, the spouses shall be entitled to live separately from each other. The court, in the absence of a written agreement between the spouses, shall designate either of them or a third person to administer the absolute community or conjugal partnership property. The administrator appointed by the court shall have the same powers and duties as those of a guardian under the rules of the court. Now, the Article 61. After filing of a motion for civil separation, the couples have the right to live apart from each other. Then, in the absence of a signed arrangement between the parties, the court will appoint one of them or a third party to manage the absolute community or the conjugal partnership assets. Within the rules of justice, the administrator appointed by the court has the same authority and responsibilities as a protector. Lastly, the Article 62. During the pendency of the action for legal separation, the provisions of Article 49 shall likewise apply to the support of the spouses and the custody and support of the common children. Meaning, during the pendency of the legal separation, the terms of Article 49 extend to the support of the parents as well as the custody and support of the common children.
Continuing, under the Article 60 contains the effect of legal separation. In Clause 1 states that both spouses are entitled to live separately apart from each other. But marriage bond should continue as marriage is not null or void. Kung sakaling mag-take effect yung legal separation, sa si innocent spouse at si offending spouse, pwede lang kanila na magkalayo o magkaibang bahay. Pero yung kasal nilang dalawa is still intact. Kasi binigay ng korte ay yung entitlement lang na pwede silang manilahan na magkalayo. Pero hindi pa annulled yung kasal nila. In Article 63 Clause 2 states that any property and property business of their own individual before and after being separated shall be divided and shared among both individual, while the offending spouse share shall be defined if ever marriage is contracted in good faith. Additionally, the court will designate a third party to facilitate the division and distribution of the property. So kung sakaling mag-effect na yung legal separation, yung property ng dalawang mag-asawa is mother ng bahay ng bawal is maliligrid at saka mahalas na. And if ever na mag-prove na yung offending spouse ay may ill-intent talaga din sa kanyang kasama, then may chance na hindi magbigay sa kanya yung kanyang share, kundi pupunta doon sa kanyang next in line. Tapos, if ever na ma-issue doon sa division at distribution, yung korte na mismo ang magbibigay ng administrator na magproproseso sa properties ng dalawang mag-asawa. In Article 63 Clause 3 states that the parental control should be given to the innocent spouse and parental authority should be exercised by the parent designated by the court. So after na mag-effect yung legal separation, yung bata is pupunta dun sa innocent spouse. Ang innocent spouse is yung parent na hindi na-commit ng kasalanan. Then, parental authority is, if ever, mapupunta dun sa innocent spouse or either sa guardian na kung saan mapipili ng korte. In Article 63 Clause 4 states that an offending spouse is disqualified to take part in the distribution of property or wealth from his or her innocent spouse. If ever a will is left, any condition in favor to the offending spouse shall be revoked, since both individuals have already agreed to legally separate. So, after ng effect ng legal separation, kung sakaling man may nangyari din sa innocent spouse at may naiwan siyang kasulatan or will, anumang kondisyon na nandoon na in favor dun sa offending spouse ay automatically mawawalan ng epekto dahil they have already agreed na mag-legally separate. So wala na siyang karapatan dun sa inheritance o property na ibibigay sa kanya sana ng innocent spouse. Now on Article 64 states that the innocent spouse, after the finalization of the decree of legal separation, could deny his or her donation or ask for reimbursement to the offending spouse. Also, in insurance policy, the innocent spouse designated the offending spouse as beneficiary is also revocable based upon the innocent spouse's discretion, while any agreements done in good faith. So, after mag-take effect yung legal separation, kung sakali mang may mga binigay yung innocent spouse dun sa kay offending spouse, maaari na yung bawiin. Lalo na kung donation yun siya. Or lalo na kung example yung singsing, pwede yung mabawi. Tapos, kung may mga insurance policy man na nakasaad dun na as beneficiary si offending spouse, pwede yung dyan tanggalin ni innocent spouse base sa kanya kung ano ang gusto niya, kasi nga as based upon the innocent spouse discretion. While kung meron naman silang mga agreement kung saan pumapayag silang dalawa na mag-continue, then it will be respected, it should be continued base sa kanila. At dapat lahat ng ito ay magagawa within sa 5 years time period after the degree ng legal separation para mag-declare. And in Article 65, if ever the spouse shall unite, a joint manifestation that informs the restoration of the relationship shall be done under oath signed by themselves and filed to the court of effect. So, katulad ng legal separation, kung sakaling mang magbabalikan yung dalawang mag-asawa, so kailangan nila ng magawa ito sa black and white kung saan pipirma sila at papasa nila ulit dun sa korte para mag-take effect. Same as ginawa nila na filing ng legal separation. In Article 66, it talks about the reconciliation. So, in Article 66 Clause 1 states that the legal separation, if still pending, shall be terminated at any level as long as the spouse have done a joint manifestation under oath signed by themselves and filed to the court. So, kung sakali mo na pending pa yung legal separation nila at gusto mong balikan na ng asawa, then kailangan nilang kumuha ng kasulatan na kung saan may pirma nila na gusto nilang magbalikan ulit. Tapos kailangan nilang ipasa ito sa korte. Tapos yung yung pending na papers para sa legal separation ay mawawalan ng epekto. Tapos sa Article 66 Clause 2 naman states that the final decree of legal separation shall be set aside while the separation of property shall continue, including the revocation of property of the guilty spouse, unless the both spouses agree to continue their former property regime before the legal separation. So kahit nga nagbalikan yung dalawang mag-asawa, yung property nilang dalawa is magpatuloy pa rin ma-liquidate at mahati sa kanila. Pero, if ever na yung innocent spouses gusto niya nang ibalik yung former property regime nila, then it's possible na pwedeng ibalik yung property ng guilty spouse sa kanya or yung offending spouse. At lastly, lahat ng record nila kasama yung sa legal separation, yung pending, tapos yung reconciliation, yung manifestation, tapos yung record dun sa properties nila ay marirecord dun sa proper civil registries kahit hindi nangyari kung sila na legal separate. Marirecord pa rin yun. Now, in Article 67, it talks about the agreement for the restoration of former regime. So, yung former regime, ito yung state ng mag-asawa before mag-file ng legal separation ng innocent spouse sa kay offending spouse. So, Article 67 Clause 1 states that the properties should be bestowed based upon the new agreement with the reconciled parties. So, kung sakaling ayaw ni innocent spouse na ibalik yung mga properties ni guilty spouse or the offending spouse, then it will be respected by the court. But if ever na gusto ni innocent spouse na ibalik, then it will be granted by the court. So, sa Article 67 Clause 2 naman, states that all properties that will be separated shall be indicated. Yung mga gamit o yung properties nila, lalo na yung kung may mga creditors sila, yung mga information will be given to both of them individually base kung kanino sino yung may utang o kaninong gamit yun, then mahati yun sa kanilang dalawa. And in Article 67 Clause 3 states that all information regarding the non-creditors and properties of the spouses shall be separated and given kasama ng properties yung information about their creditors, their addresses, and other more important information is ibibigay sa kanila separately. Lalo na yung mga kulang niya sa ibang tao based upon kung kanino yun before sa legal separation or before dun sa kanilang reconciliation. Lastly, the restoration of the relationship condition shall be filed in the court same as the legal separation. Restoration, tsaka yung legal separation is same ng process na gagawa sila ng joint manifestation tapos ibigay nyo sa contact. Then, lastly, all of these will be recorded and kept in the registries of properties. So, lahat na nangyari, pati mga properties na liquidate, yung mga permission na buto sa mga creditors, lahat yun is record sa registries of properties for safety and for future references kung sakali mong maulit yung issue ng mag-asawa. That's all.
A quick review of Title II Legal Separation. Article 55 talks about the grounds for legal separation and filing process for the innocent spouse. Article 56 shows how a petition for legal separation could be rejected based upon the situation presented. Article 57 specifies the time period for the filing of legal separation based upon incident. Article 58 informs that any action that may lead to worsening of relationship resulting to legal separation upon the time period of 24 weeks should be avoided. Article 59 talks about the sole authorized body to decree legal separation and reconciliation. Article 60 talks about the transparency of the case and the legitimacy of grounds for legal separation. Article 61 presents the entitlement of spouses to be part from each other and designation of the administrator. Article 62 talks about distribution and assistance to common children in the case of prolongment of filing. Article 63 talks about the effects of the decree of legal separation. Article 64 talks about financial responsibility and deniability of both spouses, innocent and offending spouse. Article 65 talks about the process in the case of reconciliation of spouses. Article 66 talks about the consequences of reconciliation, and Article 67 talks about the restoration of property regime.